What to know about FEMA disaster relief ahead of Hurricane Milton's landfall. In the wake of Hurricane Helene's damage and ahead of Hurricane Milton's landfall, FEMA has faced criticism and misinformation surrounding its disaster response. As a still-reeling Florida braces for Hurricane Milton's impact, the U.S. government's top disaster relief arm, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, is working to provide relief amid back-to-back storms. Milton strengthened to a Category 5 storm on Monday while taking aim at Florida's west coast, but is forecast to make landfall as a Category 3 hurricane Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. Hurricane watches are in effect in Tampa, Sarasota, Fort Myers, Naples, and Orlando. Late last month, Hurricane Helene made landfall in Florida's Big Bend region, weaving a 500-mile path of destruction from Florida through the southern Appalachians that has been nothing short of catastrophic. As officials warn of the dangers Hurricane Milton could bring on the heels of Helene's damage, understanding what role FEMA does and doesn't play in disaster relief can help mitigate misinformation as the agency works to aid in response efforts. What does FEMA do? FEMA works to supply aid to people in affected areas before, during, and after disasters by providing money, technical assistance and guidance, according to the agency. Former President Jimmy Carter signed an executive order to establish FEMA in 1979, and the agency is headquartered in Washington, D.C. A view inside FEMA headquarters as U.S. Vice President and Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris attends a briefing about the impacts of Hurricane Helene and updates on the federal response at Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, headquarters in Washington, D.C., on September 30, 2024. Brendan Smialowski/AFP via Getty Images. FEMA works with affected states to coordinate resources and deliver public assistance to cover costs for debris removal, life-saving emergency protective procedures and restoring public infrastructure. FEMA also offers federal grants to victims to help them with temporary housing, emergency home repairs, loss of personal property, and funeral and medical expenses, among other things. However, the federal agency is not solely in charge of the disaster relief and recovery process, according to Joshua Dozer, who worked for FEMA for over a decade and most recently served as the Deputy Assistant Administrator for Response Operations. FEMA is a small agency, they're not an army with trucks, Dozer told ABC News. Describing the branch as more of an enabler for disaster relief, Dozer said, FEMA coordinates resources across departments and agencies, non-government organizations, contractors, to help the state take the lead role in delivering the response. Debris of damaged houses are seen after Hurricane Helene made landfall in Horseshoe Beach, Florida on September 28, 2024. Chandan Khanna/AFP via Getty Images. In the wake of Hurricane Helene's damage, the agency has faced a wave of criticism and misinformation surrounding its response. However, the agency reports that aid has been delivered in the millions as efforts continue.